بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is our program Spirit of Values. Let's continue with what we started the last episode of the concept of implementation through projects. So we are discussing the value of achievement through implementation through projects. We ended the last episode that we have lots of failure in projects. And we will start now discussing the top 10 main reasons why a project may fail or succeed. The first concept of ensuring that you are in the right direction, number one, according to a study done by Harvard, first we have to involve the user. User involvement is a very cornerstone to achieve success in the project. User involvement. Check, brainstorm with your users to read their needs, then transfer their needs by thinking, then delivering projects. Executive support. If top management do not or does not support the projects down, it will become a failure. We need the involvement of top management. The top management will support through several ideas. Through the decision, they support by decision, they support by finance, they support by resources, they support by motivating the team. So we need executive support if we want to achieve success in our projects. Number three in the top reasons for success, clear business objectives. We have to clarify goals, objectives, targets. How can we relate this? One of the problems actually is unclear objectives. We just put a project without defining exactly what are the main objectives. But also we need experienced project managers, we need a technical staff maybe, we need people who know the put hands on, because experts will transfer idea into action. One of the main reasons why project may fail that we do not use people of expertise. In order to manage a project, you have to define it into what we call small milestones. If you want just to start a project without defining small milestones, transferring into activities, this is a problem. So usually what we do is the following. A project is subdivided into set of activities. So this symbol in statistics means summation. Then each activity is translated into set of tasks. So the idea we are doing what we call milestone. A milestone, some sort of activities related together. Another milestone. So subdivide your project into smaller milestones. This will help the achievement. This will help the team to understand. This will help assigning the resources needed. Also, we have to have firm basic requirements, exact specifications. What are the requirements to be achieved by this project? Define exactly the specifications. So by this, we are defining the project. And use a competent staff, competent people that will deliver the action and the result needed. Proper planning. One of the main reasons why project fails, that we don't make a good plan. And there is a golden rule always. Failure to plan, you are planning to fail. So make sure you have a good professional planning and let people working in the project feel that this project is theirs. The concept of ownership. I am part of this project. I will serve the needs. I am doing this project. So this needs a leader at the top of the project that will motivate and influence the people to achieve the result. And the 10th reason is risk management. If we don't calculate the risk, if we do not estimate the risk, we are going towards threatening the project deliverables. And we discussed previously in one of the episodes the concept of risk with crisis management. So these are the 10 main reasons that will contribute to the project success. And there is what we call the project management knowledge area. we have lots of knowledge areas that we have to think of exactly when we are managing a certain project. First, something we called project integration management. The project is an integration of all departments, of all people that will serve the project. So there is a concept called project management integration knowledge area. Another very important knowledge area is project scope management. One of the main reasons that projects fail if we have L defined. So sometimes we have L defined projects. What is the opposite in science? The opposite of L, well defined projects. So there is an area, and knowledge important area is project scope management. Another very important knowledge area, project time management. And this introduced the concept of scheduling your project, delivering the results with the contribution of time, how to calculate the time of activities. This is under a knowledge area, project time management. Another very important project management knowledge area is project cost management. How much each activity will cost, how much is the cost of the total project is what we call project cost management knowledge area. Another very important area of knowledge is project quality management. And each one of these knowledge areas, we will discuss it by itself. Then the project human resource management, the HR, the organization of the people that are delivering the project. So this is another very important knowledge area, project human resource management. Project communication management, how we can communicate between top management, operational level, teams working in the project, team leader, customers. So the project communication management is another very important knowledge area in project management. Project risk management is another knowledge area that we have to think of when we discuss the concept of project management. In large projects, we have to make some sort of procurement of devices, of technology. So project procurement management is another very important area, especially in large projects and mega projects. It's a knowledge area. And finally, the project stakeholders. The stakeholders could be individuals, could be organizations, locally, regionally, or internationally, that are affected or affecting the objectives of the project, should be included in a knowledge area by itself and study all of this. So this is the full umbrella of project management knowledge areas. We have around 10 knowledge areas to think of when we are discussing the concept of project success. So let's consider all of these when we design our projects. In order to achieve these knowledge areas, we think of what we call project management process groups. And remember these 5 groups. These 5 groups will always be available for any project management knowledge area. Initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. So we have 5 process groups. We start with initiating. Then by the idea of initiating, we start the planning. Then we go for execution. Then we monitor, control, evaluate, and we reach the closing. We will apply these 5 steps to the previously discussed knowledge areas. So we have 10 knowledge areas with 5 process groups. So we are discussing 50 concepts if we want to deliver excellent projects. At the end, the value of achievement is more important than just the value of an idea. We need idea, but we need to achieve through the success of the project. So 5 areas we have to think of the processes in each knowledge area. So, however, it's a cyclic approach, which means that we start with initiating, then we plan. Then maybe during monitoring and controlling, we discover something in the planning process. We replan. Then we start executing. Maybe in monitoring, we discover some steps that make some sort of wrong results. We replan. At the end, we will reach the closing concept. So 5 process groups to be always in our minds whenever we go for project management. What is the environment of the project? How we do discuss and study what we call the micro level of the project. In such a case, we study a tool called PESTEL tool. Remember, the PESTEL tool will help us to scan the environment surrounding a certain project. The P first, we have what we call political. We have maybe political opportunities. We may have political threats. We may have political issues to be considered when we think of our project. So one of the issues and factors in the external environment is political factors. If we go for E, we have what we call economical factors. Sometimes we have to think of the resources. Now almost all organizations are trying for going for what we call sustainability projects by using what we call sustainable resources, using the solar, using the systems of sustainability. So economical factors always to be considered. And no way any project is not affected by the economy of the country, economy of the world, the prices, the exchange rate, for example, of dollar, euro, etc. All of these have to be considered whenever we are discussing a project. What about the S? The S is the social factors. The social factors, for example, we are in a certain society, we are serving the society, we have to think of what are the positive values that will help achieving the social factor in the environment. So always we think of the values for the social, for the society. What about T in PESTEL? It's the technological factors. And we are in a world of totally digitalizing every issue. So think of technology, how it will affect the project, what new standards or technical procedures you need. Then we move to the L, which is the legal factors surrounding the environment of the project. Is it legal? Does it satisfy the organizational strategy? Is it within the country legal requirements? And finally, the E, which is the environmental factor and the external environment. Environmental factor will consider all factors coming from the environment. For example, weather is one of the most important factors when we are discussing projects and, for example, construction, etc. So remember this as the micro level of managing the project with the PESTEL tool: political, economical, social, technical, legal, and environmental. In order to achieve all of these, usually we recommend organizations that deal with lots of projects to start on the organizational structure a concept called PMO, Project Management Office. A PMO, it's an organizational unit to centralize the projects and the programs in order to achieve the strategic objectives of the organization. This office will use all techniques, tools, strategies, knowledge, and management systems to help organization achieve the objectives of the project. So we recommend to have this unit or this department, but in a small organization, it's only a unit, which is called PMO, Project Management Office. So usually we assign what we call project leaders for each project. So for example, project number 1, we have PM1, project manager number 1. He or she will define all the project constraints. To remind you, the constraints could include the time, quality, cost and budget, risk, scope, all of these to be considered, and resources. PM2, project manager number 2, all of these, each of them will work on a certain project, will satisfy at the end the customer requirements. So this is the main concept of PMO, Project Management Office, a very important unit to be there. So at the end we achieve this. So what is the role of the PMO in organizations? So the PMO will leverage projects by best practice, access the enterprise. The PMO will support the projects. So any project in our organization will be supported technically, managerially by the PMO. Also, they provide the project management process and methodology for all projects running in this organization. Also, they may provide training for project leaders, for project staff, how we can manage, how we can plan. So they provide training, and we always consider PMO as the home for project managers to discuss with other teams, other members, other project managers, all problems relating to projects, and they reach a solution. Also, the PMO, it's the internal consulting and mentoring. It provides advice to employee project managers. It makes also internal auditing for the project to make sure we are achieving the results. Also, they can provide the project management software. And in technical areas, we have lots of softwares that can help to achieve the project management. One of the well-known is, if you are using Microsoft, is what we call MS Project. Microsoft Project is one of the software tools that will help us to manage the project in the process that we mentioned. And it is called a portfolio management. So it provides the whole concept of the portfolio management. These are the main roles of PMO, Project Management Office, in organizations. So to summarize what we have discussed, the following is: we have the PMO, we have the project 10 knowledge areas, and then we apply the 5 process groups: initiating, then executing, monitoring and controlling, and then we go for reviewing and closing. So initiate, plan, execute, monitor and control, then closing, and all of these will be done by the help of the PMO, Project Management Office, or Project Management Office in organizations. Now, how can we relate to what we call project life cycle? What is a life cycle? A life cycle defines the phases through which the project will pass, and it's called project life cycle. The project life cycle we will discuss in the coming episode. So please remember that in this episode we discussed the concept of project constraints. We discussed the tools, techniques that we usually go and study to achieve the top knowledge areas in project management, which are 10 knowledge areas applying 5 process groups. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.